All right, you guys, we are live. 3, 2, and 1. Live! Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. So, I am traveling around Austin, Texas, and I wanted to come to you today and just go into a little bit more detail regarding last week. We talked about where are you at in October? Where are you at with 2023? Where are you at with your fourth quarter? Where are you at with your thoughts about what you've accomplished and what yet you want to accomplish? And we talked about allowing yourself to be able to kind of look at those goals, see where you're at, take a look at your expectations, see if they were fair. Take a look and see the things that came up that you weren't planning on. If there were some things that came up that just had you wasting time and just procrastinating, and those might be some areas that need additional attention. We also talked about how to check in on your mindset, how to check in on your resilience, making sure that you're allowing yourself to create this space of achievement, looking at SMART goals, making sure your goals are specific, making sure they're measurable so you can keep track of them, see how you're doing. Sometimes if something's not specific enough with the right clarity, we might think we're going in the right direction, but we're ending up over here. And then you just get this level of frustration because you're not getting the results you want. And then if it's measurable, you don't have to wait to the end of the year or the fourth quarter to go, now what do Instead, you could do it much sooner and start getting back on track to right where you want to be. So that way it ends up there. And let's say if this year isn't quite that, that's fine. This year is where you do the work to make sure that next year is better. And so as we're doing this toward the end of the year, I was also talking about setting next year's resolutions now or next year's goals now, not because we want to have that January resolution time, but because whatever goals we didn't finish here, we just get to move them over to here and set up a different method that maybe didn't work for us this time. All right. So I'd like to go into those a little bit deeper. And so we'll be talking about tips on kind of like helping with overwhelm, taking a look at those priorities we were talking about and prioritizing those priorities. And then for me, people always say, oh, it's so hard to say no, or I feel so guilty when I say no. For me, I take on a busy schedule. I have a bad habit, or I used to have a bad habit of just saying yes, thinking I could do that when already my schedule was full. But I'd be like, no, I'll have time. I'll fit it in somewhere. That's just taking on too much, literally. And so you want to take a look if that's what's going on for you. People who have trouble with focus are usually distracted, like with ADHD and things like that. That happens all the time. So we've got to be real mindful of that. And there's different techniques that we can take a look at that will help with that. All right. All right. Put on your seatbelts. We're going to go ahead and get started. So what are some of your challenges? What are some areas where you're like, yeah, that sounds like me? Share what some of those are. Share what your concerns are. Share what, like, I've tried to do this and it didn't work. So share what's worked, because we get to share with each other and be that kind of community that allows this worked, this didn't, this is what I learned, this is what I would have loved to share with my younger self. When we do things like that, it helps others around us to be able to have that support that they may not know the questions to even ask. And so that could actually work out for all of us in that regard as we're thinking through that. Okay, so first, with prioritizing and setting boundaries around our goals, and this is setting boundaries around anything, to be honest. You want to allow yourself, and you could do it in different ways. There's a couple different ways. I'll give you a couple examples. So you take whatever it is you want to do, get it out of your head. You can write them first in categories, or if you want to get detailed right away, you write the category, then the task. Ask yourself, is this a task, or is this going to take several tasks to get done? And then you want to allow yourself to write next to that, this is a project. This is not just a task. So then it's helping you set your expectations correctly. So that way you'll be able to see this can't get done until all these other things get done. And this is going to take a day. This will take a day. This will take a day. Or because if it's phone calls that you have to make where you're on hold for an hour, that might be all you have. But if it's something quick, it'd be, okay, these 2 steps can happen in one day. Or if you have an open day, they could all happen in a day. but at least you're giving yourself the correct amount of time versus, oh, I got time. Think about how much time it's going to take you. If it's going to be an hour call, block that hour call into your visible schedule that you're working with, not on a separate to-do list or somewhere else. Put it where you can see it and allow your calendar to be your assistant. Allow your calendar to be your support tool. Make sense? All right, cool. So as you're writing that list, you can then take a look at it and go, the ones that are most important, all get an A. Now, if you're somebody like me, everything's going to get an A. So if that's the case, then you have to take a look and go, okay, they may all be required. So where can I fit these in my calendar? They all have to get done. So which one do I need to do first? Which one has the sooner deadline or the sooner? And so then that could be like your number 1A, or you could turn that into A, and then the next one that the deadline's different, that's a B. And then deadline's different, that's a C. And deadline different, or maybe it's not an A at all, and that gets to be a D, which could also possibly be your parking lot. Meaning, can I put that to the side? And can that just hang out there? And then sometimes you might even ask yourself, do I need to do that? Do I need to have somebody else do that? Okay. Then you allow yourself to get it on your calendar, all the A stuff. And you take a look at the B and C stuff and you see, okay, does any of that, like, where does that deadline fall? And then you can put that on there and that. So you're able to see it in your schedule with correct expectations. Now, if you go to do something and you find, oh, I was planning for an hour, but it ended up taking me 3, right? Because one phone call ended up being 2 hours instead of 1. This person didn't get back to me, so I had to keep chasing them and then back. So it did have till the next day, and then I had to spend an hour. So allowing yourself to take a look at where I might plan for an hour, if this consistently ends up being more than that, then that hour is not a correct expectation. So just notice that. So that's one method you could do it. There's also this other one. You can actually look online. It's called the, what do you say? It's the Einstein matrix. Actually, let me look it up for you right now. No, Eisenhower matrix. And that allows you to put them into 4 categories. And it's similar to the A, B, C, and D, but it's in this grid, right? Like a 4 boxes grid. And then you're able to see, okay, so what's the urgent and important? What's the important but not urgent? What's the urgent but not important? And what's not urgent or not important? And those were the 4 go. And so you could put it in there. That, asking yourself that might make it more clear. And then you're able to see it all in the little box. And the same thing, you then take the urgent and important and you put that onto your calendar. You might then look, okay, what's important but not urgent? Now that could go in different spaces of your calendar than what the others did. And then if you're looking at, this is urgent but not important, can I compromise with this and have somebody else do it? Because if it's not as important, then maybe it can be done and I can just look it over, right? So that allows for that opportunity to take a look at, maybe I can get some of that off my calendar and off my schedule, right? And then we were talking about, similar to the parking lot, this is not urgent, not important. Maybe I want to clean out my closet, right? That might be important though, so it might go on the important but not urgent. But if it's just something you want to do, like I don't have to do it, but I feel like it's time for me to do it, so I will be doing it. So I do need to still have it on somewhere to remind me it's something I want to do. And so instead, I just allow myself to take a look and go, you know what? I'm going to create an anchor. And this is what I did decide to do, by the way. Whenever I'm in my closet and I get a new shirt, then I need to go ahead, and if there's a shirt I haven't worn for a while, then that's going to go in the giveaway box. Or when I go to wash my clothes and I go to hang them up, and then I see there's some shirts in there that I'm continuously not wearing, or there's some that I've just worn to death. Okay, it's time. And so now I've created an anchor. I started doing this 2 weeks ago for this season. I've got some new shirts in. This is one of them. I love it. This is more my casual shirt, but I got it from Temu, by the way. I like their clothes. I like some of their stuff too. It's really cool. If I see anything, like I mentioned to you, then I have a bag right there and I put it right into the bag for giveaway. And then I go to my hairdresser, which I need to do. And then I give her the bag because she works with the homeless population. And so there you go. It's already taken care of. And so it's things I'm going to do anyway. So I anchor them to things I'm already doing, right? That's called stacking, right? You stack it with something you're already doing. So that's another thing that you can practice, by the way. And so those are just some things. I don't have to have it on my list anymore because dealing with my clothes is going to automatically have me do it. Plus I have the bag sitting there. So the bag's going to remind me to do it. So I've already got these things to remind me. So things like that can actually help you to do it. Like my medication. It's right here, tiny little thing. In the morning, I take it out and I put it here to remind me to take it. Now there's two that I take and I don't take them together. So I take one or the other later. And so having it there will always remind me. So as I continue to look at the monitor over here, my eyes will be brought to there. Oh yeah, I need to take that. But since I just recently took the other one, that one's waiting, right? So there's things that I do to create an anchor to remind me that I don't have to have it on my calendar. However, I do have a tracker, right, where you measure. That's how I measure what I'm doing with my time. It also helps me to see what's realistic because if I'm planning this and it's taking this, I can get more realistic. So that's another thing that you can do, by the way. Track, measure. I just use an Excel spreadsheet, the time, the date, what I did, and then what time that it took. I actually have to do that for my corporate coaching clients. And so I just do everything. And then I just pull out the corporate coaching clients later. But I put on there that I've taken the medication because let's say by chance I forgot to bring it out. And did I bring it out? I don't know. And I have to work with my memory like that because in addition to having ADHD that I have to work with, I also have memory challenges that I also work with. So once I put it on there, I can go back and check later. Oh, yeah, I already took that. But if it's not on there, I'll be like, okay, well, I don't remember taking it. I think I might have, but it's not on here. And I know I put it on here, so I didn't. I'm just remembering taking it from yesterday. And that happens. That's just what I get to work with. And I work with it. And because I put no stress on it at all, there's no stress to it. And it's just part of me working and compensating for what's going on. So I hope these tools are helping you so you can see how you can kind of make those changes for yourself. These are various tools that you can start working on and using today, right now. And so I hope that you allow yourself to be able to see that that's going to help you change those priorities. That's going to help you not have stress and overwhelm. Instead, you'll be feeling calmer. You'll be feeling more relaxed. You'll be feeling like, oh, okay, I've got this. Now, there will be some other things that you'll notice, right? We talked about if you're finding yourself in a lot of procrastination, or something, right? Something that's keeping you from doing, or the I don't want to, or the I'm too tired, or whatever the statement is that keeps you from doing it. Oh, I can't, I don't have enough of this, or I don't have enough of that. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough skill. Whatever that is, there's something underneath that. And so being able to take a look at what's driving this car, right? We need to find the driver. We don't want to just look at the steering wheel. We don't want to look at the steering column, and we don't want to look at the engine and all this stuff. We need to go back and see what's driving all this. And once we are able to do that, then we're able to say, okay, driver, out of the car. You're not taking us in the right direction. It doesn't have to be judgmental, like, oh, why do I keep doing this? What's wrong with me? You got to move that stuff out of the way because that makes it even harder to figure out where's it coming from? What's the driver of it? And so that's really important. And oftentimes we can't do it on our own. And I couldn't do it on my own, right? I have the tools I have because someone else taught me, because I continued to practice it, and because I continued to find people who would teach me. I didn't just have it. None of us just have it. We think we did it on our own. Who taught you to eat? Who taught you to walk? Who taught you to talk? Right? Somebody was there. Somebody did teach you, even if you didn't like them, and even if they didn't like you. We did learn, right? We had to learn to know what we know because we're basically like an empty slate when we're here. The little kids they put their feet in their mouth and they eat anything off the floor. They don't know the difference of things. They have to be taught. They don't know where to put the food initially. You know, they don't know how to clean themselves, or they don't know who's safe and who's not. They don't know what's dangerous and what's not. We don't think about all that stuff that we've learned. And that's just a little bitty bit. There's so much that you've learned. So allowing yourself to be in this space of going, I can ask for help. I can ask to be taught, just like I was when I was younger, just like I have been my whole life. That's what we're here for. We're here to learn and develop and grow. And each of us has our own skills and tools that we can help implement or help the other person implement. That's what we're here for. So give yourself permission to be able to get the tools and support so you can then identify what's the real driver. Because otherwise you're just going to keep looking at the issues over here and trying to solve those issues, and the driver's going to keep creating more. And you'll be like, take on the same issue, or it's going to look a little different, but it'll be a similar issue. It's because the driver, right? There's the subconscious mind, limiting beliefs, subconscious beliefs that are the driver, that those get to be found out. And you don't have to know them by going into re-experiencing the problem or any of that stuff like that. No, you're just able to see what it is based on the results. But if you're not used to looking at it, it's very hard to see when the problem is right here, right? Just like players, they have a coach because the coach can see how they're playing out on the field. They don't get a coach because they're like, I already know everything. I don't need a coach to tell me anything. I don't need to ask for help. I can't ask for help. I can't depend on anybody. No. They say, okay, I know I can't see everything. I can't see what's coming. I can't see what's going on. My head's in the game. I want my head in the game. So that coach is then able to see what's going on, the full picture from a neutral perspective, mostly. I would say some coaches are not that neutral, but we're not talking about sports coaches today. Having someone take a look, and then also somebody who has the skills of mindset, the skills of retraining. And in my case, I also have the skills of NLP and the skills of energy and the skills of spiritual understanding and the skills of having gone through a lot of my own abuse and a lot of my own anxiety and a lot of my own depression, and being able to get out on the other side of it. So I'm able to bring all of that to the table, as well as I've worked with hundreds of couples and clients and some small businesses, not hundreds, just I would say as far as businesses, probably about 30 now, because working with businesses is a newer niche for me. And so it just gives this experience that you just don't have, but just like you have a lot of experience in whatever it is that you do. I don't need to have all that experience in that. If you are guiding me and saying, hey, practice this. Hey, try that. Hey, do you know when you do that, there's this? And I don't need all of your experience because I take what it is you're guiding me on and I can learn that way. And that's exactly what you can do. You can get somebody, it could be me, it could be somebody else, who can support you with that. It's super, super important that you give yourself that permission. It's essential. All right. So I hope this is ringing some bells for you, ringing some whistles for you, helping you see, yeah, I do need that. I do want that. That will help my overwhelm. That will help me get organized. That will help me shift my mindset. That'll help me think things very differently. Yeah? All right, cool beans. So let me see. What was the last thing I wanted to go over with you guys? Oh, the saying no without guilt. So we talked about that a little bit. But the idea is allowing yourself to take a look at your schedule. Get real. You have to get real with your schedule. The important thing is to allow yourself to see what it is that you're doing and the time it's going to take. So if you're saying, oh, I have to make these phone calls. Okay, great. What's going to happen after those phone calls? There's going to be follow-up. There's going to be people getting back with you. You may not know when, but you know it's going to happen. So you have to plan for that too. If I'm going to call 10 people, I'm going to be expecting 10 people to call me back. Now, if it's just I'm calling out for possible people interested, okay, maybe I'll be expecting 2 calls back. But those calls I'm expecting to be half an hour to an hour. So plan that into your week, because you'll want to follow up with them. And if you get them on the phone, then that's going to be that time. Don't just plan for those phone calls. You forget that. If there's anything else that you need to do as far as social media or posting, if you're somebody who's just in a business and, working for someone else, there's still various things that you're doing. There's still going to be things that they're putting on your plate that that was not on my schedule. But if you know that this is the kind of company that is always handing you at least 2 things a day, plan for it. Those 2 extra things a day take how much time? Put it on there. Anything that you need to do for yourself, plan your bathroom breaks. Put them on your calendar. How many times am I working with clients and they're saying, I don't have time to go to the bathroom? I am not making enough time to allow this human being to go to the bathroom, to meet one of their basic needs. Oh, I don't stop for lunch. I am not allowing this person to stop and eat for lunch. I'm not allowing them to calm down their nervous system. I'm not allowing them to take a break. Speak the truth. And if somebody was doing that to someone else, what would you say? You would say, you need to quit. You can't do that. You can't treat somebody that way. Don't let somebody treat you that way. So you want to allow yourself to pay attention. You're treating you that way, but you're telling yourself, I can't. I don't have enough time. Nobody lets me. That's where you have to put your foot down if people are saying, I'm sorry, my basic needs are going to be met. And you make sure that happens, right? We can't let people run over us. We can't let people steal our life. If you've got that much stuff going on that you're not even able to go to the bathroom or eat, how long do you think you're going to last? Right? Got to take care of you. That's super, super, super. That's like the only thing, right? Confirmation. That's the only thing that is your responsibility ultimately, is to take care of you. So if you're telling yourself anything else that keeps you out of taking care of you, you want to notice. And if you're like, well, I feel guilty if I do that, check in. Why? Guilt is there to tell you that you've done something to hurt somebody else, or you're doing something to hurt yourself. So if you're not going to take lunch, or you're not going to the bathroom, or you're not taking time for yourself that you need, ask yourself, okay, so why am I feeling guilty? Have I hurt them by taking this time? And then notice what thoughts come. Because you might have some thoughts to say, yes, I'm hurting them. I'm not making them a priority. I'm being a bad parent, or I'm being a bad daughter or son if I do this. So notice that thinking is what's causing it. That's the driver. And so that will help you to take a look at why it is you're creating guilt when no is what you must do for your own well-being. Instead, that guilt is there because there's some limiting belief that's pushing you. So you've got to clear up that limiting belief. That's all it is. That's all it is. I know that sounds super simple, but it's kind of like you need an x-ray to see what the problem is. And if you don't have an x-ray, it's not that simple. But somebody out here who could see the whole picture, it's like they can see the x-ray and they can say, oh, well, there's this over here and there's that over there and there's this over here. And if we help work through those things, oh, I'm doing it now and I don't feel any guilt. Yeah, just like that. Okay. I know I gave you a lot today. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you're like, oh, I've tried this, it didn't work, let me know. If you're like, I've tried this and it does work, let us know. Because as you're supporting and sharing that information, it can help others. And I'll also add it to the information and reinforce it as an additional support. All right, you guys. Big squishy hugs. You take care of you. You have a great rest of your week. And know that you're loved. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Ciao for now.